Thank you very much for joining us. This is a special broadcast of Mahala Monday. But first things first, we wish you only prosperity and all the best for this new year of 2024. My name is Dougal. As always, right over there, there's Rhoda, and we are joined by a very special guest today, which makes this, of course, the special broadcast. But Rhoda, yes, Happy New Year, Happy New Year to everybody.
Welcome, everybody. Woo, I'm looking forward to 2024. So our special guest today, guys, as you can see him here, is Damien September, and he's from CCEA, which is basically a Cape Career Exhibition Association. Okay. And you know what? I know there's a frenzy going on, there's craziness going on, especially with the Matric results coming out and students not knowing what is going on, what to do next. So, and that's why we got the expert here today.
Yeah, really great having you. Thank you for joining us, Damien.
Thank you for having me as well, guys.
Absolutely wonderful, and that is why we have Damien here. So just to paint the picture for you slightly, of course, as we are right now, Matric results 19th of January, that is the magical date. And of course, we just want to extend our best wishes and well wishes to everybody who achieved so fantastic over this time, of course, with the exam. So very well done. But the question becomes what to do, where to go. And of course, you've all heard the name NSFAS. And we all know now applications are going in, there are dates, what you need to have. And as Rhoda pointed out, and Damien as well. So he's the chairperson, that is this, of the CCEA, which is the Cape Careers Exhibitors Association. So we got him in that capacity. And I see you wearing a member shirt.
Yes, yes.
Yes, one of the members.
Originally, obviously, I work for Northlink College. I'm the marketer for Northlink, and I do career exhibitions and career talks. Okay. But we belong to the CCA, which is the Cape Careers Exhibitors Association. It comprises of 70 plus member institutions, which is your TVET colleges, your universities, and majority of them as private institutions in the Western Cape. We do have a few member institutions from outside the province as well. So like your University of Free State, the Rhodes University, those types of institutions as well. So what the CCA does is we do career exhibitions at various schools around the province, and we do also do it in other provinces like the Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, and the Southern Cape. And it's just basically there to provide information to students about career paths going further. Students, we find that, especially matriculants, still in this day and age with all the technology available, students still don't know what they want to do when they get to grade 12, and that's a big problem for us. So we're trying to create awareness for students where they, from grade 9 already, we try and influence them to say, this is the type of careers that you can go into, so you can now have a choice. Because in the olden days, it used to be, you'll become a teacher, a policeman, a nurse, or anything like that. We don't want that to be the only thing that you think about. So now you can see there's agriculture, there's acting, there's music, there's different types of career paths. So we want to provide the information to the students. What is the career paths to go into? What is a subject requirement? So in grade 9 is an important year for students. They need to know what subject choices they need to make, and that's predominantly in your third and fourth quarter of the year when the student has to. So a student will choose sometimes the easier subjects because I want to get through high school, get to grade 12, and it's like, oh, I want to become an engineer, but I never had maths and physics. So we try and provide the information from a grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, and then into grade 12. So when we get to a grade 12 learner, we expect that student to know what career paths, and that's when we start speaking to them about, this is what you need, this is the application dates, and this is the types of things that we do.
Fantastic. So to all the students there, of course, the learners, so you would be very familiar with the CCEA then, and more importantly, as well as to the choice that you have made in terms of tertiary institution. So results come the 19th, and I'm just imagining everybody is in a bit of a frenzy because NSFAS applications, and that is why we have you here, and this is why this information is super, super important. So before we go anywhere, remember to share this far and wide. Definitely do that. Results come 19th of January.
That's correct.
People will have their matric results in hand. This is, of course, of utmost importance in terms of being accepted at the tertiary institution.
Yes. So how that happens is students obviously apply during the year on condition that they will pass the matric. So they're waiting on the results, but institutions can't stand still. We still have to continue with registrations and that. So for an institution like Northlink College, our classes are starting on Monday. We're starting with orientation, but students are getting the results this coming Friday. So we're hoping that the student will have that results, but also with the universities, a student gets his results, he might not have the marks when he passed, and then he drops out of the university, and then the TVET colleges and private institutions get an influx of students applying now to other tertiary institutions.
wow.
So there is that, but we still have to continue, and we continue with the registrations as per normal. And then with the NSFAS as well happening now, applications is open till the end of January. And then they close off from there, so students can still go online onto the NSFAS website and do the necessary applications, and just to make sure they have the documentation in place as well.
So when we say end of January, are we being very clear, like the 31st of January?
31st of January, which is on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday.
Wednesday, 31st of January, and that would be at midnight.
Yes.
All right, so I just want to be clear.
Yes.
You're applying for
Celeb.
NSFAS 31st of January, because this is what our conversation is going to center around for the next few moments quickly. 31st of January, all applications must be in. You must have it in. In
Must be
fact,
in.
have it in as soon as you can.
Don't wait for the
Way
last
before, the 30th, I would already say. That's the last day.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned documents.
Yes.
What is needed? What is
Okay,
needed?
so if a student applies for, and I'll specifically speak to about the TVET college, they need a copy, a certified copy of their ID, proof of address, their highest grade results, which would obviously be the results for the 19th, proof of parents' IDs if they are under 21, and then a copy of the parents' salary slip, should the parents be employed. And this is obviously to see if the student meets the minimum requirements to apply for the bursary. There needs to be a household income of 350,000 or less per year, which comes down to about 29,400 to be exact for a student. So if the salary is below that, and that is now if it's a single parent, both the parents or a guardian, the combined salaries together has to be less than 29,000 Rand, and then that will qualify the student for the bursary.
All right.
Bursaries.
Let me just ask you this again. So household income less than 350,000
per year.
per year.
Per year.
So that is the important thing. All these documentation, all of them needs to be certified.
Yes.
Every single one needs to be certified.
Yes,
So
that's
the
especially
ID
when,
results.
yes, especially when you students do sometimes apply with non-certified, but when they come and register, they need to have it certified.
Have
right.
to have it certified.
All right.
Okay, please.
So, and everybody knows how to do it. If you're not sure, very easy. You take the original and you take the copy that you want. You go to your nearest police station and they will gladly do it for you. It takes 2 seconds just to do it. So it's a very, very easy process. Just to recap. So identification documents are required. Proof of address is required. The bank
Salary
the
slips.
salary slips. Could you bring a bank statement?
No, it actually has to be the
salary
salary slip, because
slip.
obviously
Salary
bank
slip.
statement will reflect different incomes in there.
Yes,
as well.
yes,
So
yes,
we want
yes.
the
All right.
salary slip.
Yeah.
So salary slips, proof of address, latest results, of course, and ID.
Student ID and parents' IDs.
And
if the
parents'
students are
ID.
under
Parents'
21.
ID.
Yeah, if you're under 21. So that is it. That is it in a nutshell. Yes. Sorry for interrupting. There was another thing you wanted to say.
No, I'm just saying what the bursary then covers is obviously the tuition of the student, all of their materials, and then students can also apply for household, not household, hostel accommodation or traveling allowances. So traveling allowances, if the student lives more than 5 kilometers away from the college, they can apply for traveling allowances. Traveling allowances then enables the student to travel from home to college and back home. And then hostel accommodation, where the accommodation will be covered for them to stay, but student is still then liable for their own food. that
And
they
then
apply for.
obviously on that as well, numbers, because there is obviously a cutoff as well. So it's best to try and get it in as soon as possible.
Yes.
And will there be a point where obviously they say, okay, we can only take this amount of students?
Yes, so NSFAS obviously do cap it at a certain number. Unfortunately do not have that number. We're not sure if students will still be able to qualify for the bursaries. Students has started applying from last year, September already. So there is quite a lot of applications through, but we're not saying to the students don't apply,
exactly.
because you never know, there might just be an opportunity still for students to qualify.
Yeah. And it is definitely one of that thing, or one of those things rather, where you just got to apply.
Yes.
You
Exactly.
absolutely have no choice. And I also love the fact that, just on a side note of what you said in terms of a traveling allowance, that these sort of things are all worked into it. But you got to get this application in the 31st on January, which is a Wednesday. That is where all applications close rather, so you got to get it in ASAP.
Yes,
That's right.
that's correct.
Now, I want to ask you a sideways question, of course. Bit of a naughty question, because and as Rhoda just alluded to, there is a large number of applicants, but it's not really a question, it's more a statement. Why it is so important for you to really speed up this process? Because obviously there is a processing period that needs to be allowed for. So at the end of the day, when this opportunity exists, do take into account the processing period, and when you have sent everything through, everything is sort of analyzed and vetted to make sure you have all your documentation. And that's why it's super important to make sure that all your documentation is 100% correct. Do not make mistakes, because then it's another week or two. And when I say another week or two, I'm hoping another week or two. But get all your stuff. How important is that?
Well, basically, we want students to do it as soon as possible. We unfortunately have the situation where students completed Matric, they're now unemployed, they're looking forward to the festive season, and then 2nd of January, they wake up, it's like, okay, I need to now apply. But not thinking of the as you said, the consequences at that there has been thousands of people already applying for these things. So we want you to do it as soon as possible. Also, do not apply on the 31st at 10 to 12. Thinking that you still might have a chance to get it. It's important because there is process that needs to be followed. So the institutions has to get all their paperwork in place. NSFAS has to get everything in place, and then for money to be paid out. So it's obviously it's money being paid out. So this is an important step that you need to do as soon as possible. Do not wait for the last minute. Just do as soon as you have it. If you're not certain about the career, the paperwork, you can go onto the NSFAS website, and it will indicate to the student there as well what is exactly needed from them. And then they just start applying, but they need to do it online on the website. NSFAS does have an office in Wynberg, but they obviously usually have long queues as well, so we advise students rather to do their applications online.
And that was going to be my next and final question. The online address, website, which is?
NSFAS, I think it's nsfas.org.za or .co.za, one of the two. So they may just go onto that, but they can actually just go onto Google, type in NSFAS, and it will actually bring up the website for them, and then they can go onto the website. They need to obviously register themselves on the site, and that will then give them access to the application form as well.
Exactly.
Easy peasy.
So obviously, just to get clarity out there, the students that hasn't made up their mind, obviously at this point as yet, there is a time frame of the students that's going to be basically on Friday. Once they know if they made it or not, obviously there's going to be clearing out of some students that didn't make it.
Yes.
And then the opportunity for you next week is really still to get yourself registered. Get your basically NSFAS, get it sorted out. If you don't have funding, it's not too late.
Yes.
It's not too late. It's never too late. So please try your best to get in there, get yourself registered at the institution at this point where you're obviously trying to decide that now you want to go study. Please. And you know what? There was something I actually noticed, and this is all from NSFAS right now, is what was something I experienced last year at an institution. And this is what I want to tell parents as well, and especially students as well, that's not 100% sure what they want to do. Because there was a test that was done at one of your institutions where they actually give you a breakdown on what career path to follow, and actually give you the courses that you can study as well. So you know what? You can still do that this week, next week. Go to the counselor, the student counselor. There's a student counselor at all these institutions. Get in contact with the student counselor and actually go and sit down and do this test. It gives you so much more clarity on exactly where you want to go, especially the grade 9s. I would say do this test, go to a college, even if you're grade 9, go to a college, sit down, do this test, and actually know exactly. It's so much easier for you to figure out what to do when it gets to Matric, you know. So there's things that help us, guys. Take advantage of it. There is no reason for you to say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. So please.
100%. Any closing thoughts, Damien?
No, obviously we are starting the academic year now. So for those wanting to have an institution, especially the schools, if you want an institution to come and visit you or to have a career exhibition at your school, please contact the CCEA at ccea.co.za. You can go onto the website. You can speak to our lovely lady Franlin. She will advise students on the individuals on the paperwork to follow, and then we can set up a date. We can come and visit for school career exhibitions, or we do career talks, but there's various, and all the members are listed on there, so they can actually directly speak to the institutions there as well, should they want to have an institution directly come or have a CCA exhibition with us.
Excellent. Excellent.
Fantastic, fantastic. David September, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me.
Thank you so much. So there you have it. That is a special broadcast. So you know the clock is ticking. The date is approaching super, super fast. And as Damien alluded to, of course, if you want more information, please visit the CCEA website as well. But for NSFAS, this is it. 31st of January. That is where all applicants close. And of course, the results is now just hours away from where we are. Fingers crossed, we hope everything goes your way, but get all your applications in as soon as possible. And just a quick reminder of all that supporting documents. Of course, you will need proof of identification, parents' proof of identification as well. You will need a salary slips as well, which will be needed, as well as proof of address, and make sure that these are certified. But share the word, spread it far and wide, and fingers crossed. Thank you very much, David.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck, everybody.